Good evening, I hope everyone's well today, thank you for watching. Our Attorney General for England and Wales today, Lord Hermer, the insufferable leftist, wokest, best buddy of our Prime Minister Tuti Kia, had the audacity to say that if you believe in a two-tier justice system in the United Kingdom, meaning we live under one, we are disgusting, or the suggestion that we're in a two-tier society is disgusting. Mr. Hermer, Lord Hermer, he is responsible for refusing to review lenient sentences for grooming gang criminals. That's what Lord Hermer did. And he also personally approved the prosecution of Lucy Connolly, who we all know is in prison due to a misguided tweet that was put out last year. I personally don't think it was incitement to violence. She was given faulty and wrong legal advice and pled guilty and was sent to prison. There were other people that didn't do that, like Jamie Michaels from Wales, and he was acquitted by a jury of his peers. So it was Lucy's mistake, meaning she took the advice and she believed that the state attorney that was acting on her behalf would be acting in her best interests, and clearly that didn't happen. Now, I want to mention the royal prerogative of pardon, or the royal prerogative of mercy, alright? It's actually within the King's power to pardon people, and it's not governed by statutes, it's governed by constitutional convention, meaning really the King could intervene if he really wanted to. Whether he would or not is a different matter, but he does have the legal power and authority to do so. Alright? It's very important. Okay, the prerogative remains the Crown. It is not the prerogative of any particular minister or the Prime Minister. I want to make that point clear. Now, Lucy Connolly has had a pretty rough time in prison, and I want to play this clip from GB News, because Richard Tice actually went to visit her earlier this week, and it's pretty shocking what's happening to her in prison, and I wanted to bring people's attention to it. So we're going to play this clip now.
Okay, so now today's top story. Lucy Connolly has been manhandled without provocation, handcuffed and stripped of privileges by prison officers. That's according to the Deputy Leader of Reform UK, Richard Tice. And this comes after Mr Tice visited Miss Connolly in prison earlier on today. I'm delighted to say I'm joined in the studio by the Deputy Leader of Reform UK, Richard Tice. Mr Tice, welcome to the show. A deeply, deeply concerning story. Please tell us what happened.
So I'm fresh back from HM Peterborough Prison, where I went to visit Lucy Connolly to talk to her about, primarily about the 10-minute rule bill I'm introducing into the House of Commons tomorrow, what I'm calling Lucy's Law. Before I just come on to that, I'd heard an anxious suggestion that she had had some serious mistreatment last week, so obviously wanted to talk that through with her. And first and foremost, actually, the prison was clean, tidy, well organised. I was, very well treated and respected by all of the staff. She spoke warmly of many of the staff. Of the officers doing a difficult job it's a very serious prison. There's a male prison and there's a female prison there, and all was going fine. She was expecting to be moved to what they call an enhanced wing because of very good behaviour, and then all of a sudden she was notified that actually she was going into a completely different wing with a very different type of inmate, where there are serious problems with regard to violence, with regard to drugs, where sadly 2 women have died in the last year or so. And she was horrified. And then before she knew it, when she said, why am I going there? That was registered as a complaint, apparently the first complaint that she had made. She's got an immaculate reputation in prison, I'm led to believe. And before she knew it, there's many officers surrounding her. There's a nurse there, and she is manhandled physically, violently to the ground in an operation they call a bend-op. Hands put violently behind her back, handcuffed very, very tightly, and she's then literally physically handcuffed in this bend-op where you're bent over, dragged up 3 flights of stairs into this new wing where she's thrown into almost effectively solitary confinement and given no food for the rest of the day.
I want to know what justification they had to treat her this way, to be honest. I think this is completely unacceptable. She's a mother, and she shouldn't be in prison. The way that they're treating her, they must have got orders from on high, in my opinion. And if that's the case, then that's the corrupt judiciary that needs to be called to account. And the Home Office, or whoever's given the orders to do this kind of nonsense. Someone's got an exemplary record in prison, then this sort of stuff doesn't happen. Unless you've got the screws in there and they're just taking the piss, pardon the language, for no good reason. Then I want to know why. There needs to be an inquiry. There needs to be an investigation. This is unacceptable. Again, that's just my opinion.
And this is obviously horrifically concerning. 5 days on, I could see clear stress marks and bruises on her wrists from those handcuffs that the officers struggled to get off her hands because they were so tightly struck on. And you know, that was the highest level of restraint and force that officers use. There's two lower levels. Lucy's, she has patently got a good track record in prison. This seems extraordinary maltreatment without any provocation whatsoever that I was absolutely horrified by.
Completely agree. Mr. Tice, Richard Tice, is completely on the money on this, I would agree. In England and Wales, we're releasing violent criminals with 30% served on the sentences, and yet people like Lucy need to stay in prison, what, to be made an example out of? She pled guilty, and she should have got a lesser sentence if nothing. We don't even send people that are sexual offenders to prison anymore, and yet people that say something ill-advised online, well, they need 2.5 years in the clink. Remember that Labour councillor Ricky Jones? He's out on remand. Sorry, not remand, he's not been remanded, he's out, awaiting or pending a further trial. And what about Nick Lowles from Hate Not Hope? He put out some pretty objectionable tweets last year about white people targeting Muslim minorities with acid that emboldened the Pakistani gangs to go out and patrol the streets for the white man. All that was fake. All of that was lies. All of that was not real. And he's walking the streets. I think he put out an apology, and that's pretty much it. If this isn't two-tier system, if this isn't a two-tier justice system, I do not know what is. Now, as I say, in this particular circumstance, I think the king should and can intervene. And he really should. He should put an end to this nonsense straight away. This is completely unacceptable. Now, on another point, I'm going to say this. Rupert Lowe's got a petition out as well. And there's the petition. It's nearly at 180,000 signatures. I'll put the link at the bottom of this video in the description. Sign it. Make sure they debate this nonsense in Parliament. This is completely unacceptable in my view. Like and share this video. And consider subscribing if you're not already. Lucy Connolly is just the figurehead of the entire movement. Alright? There's a lot of people in prison that shouldn't be in prison. Sam Mellier, for example, and other people. These should all be released. This isn't an appropriate use of prison space, in my opinion. Have a good day.